Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Changemaker Supermom Stories. I'm your host Sarita Shetty, and this is our final episode of the year. And what a beautiful way to close this chapter with a conversation with another dynamic changemaker supermom. Today, I am so honored to welcome a very special guest, Bhargavi Arjun, a woman who embodies strength, wisdom, and so much of clarity. She's an IT professional turned into self discovery and empowerment coach, working with middle aged women who feel lost or unseen while showing up for everyone else. Through her 100-day coaching framework, Bhargavi helps them to come back home to themselves using powerful tools, inner work, and shadow work techniques. She also finds joy in the simple, soulful things like quiet, reflective mornings, having conversations with her son, being in nature, and working out. And of course, traveling. You must check out her Insta page. I love her travel stories. So, let's begin. So, Bhargav, you want to add something to this?
Yes, Sarita. That actually felt very nice and touching.
Uh,
Knowingly or unknowingly, I have been traveling since my childhood. Any trip, any outing comes, I won't say no. So, yes. And of course, my son now, he is like, what to say, a gift who helps me find my true self.
wow.
So, talking to him each and every time, I find out who am I. My patience is building. Yes, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Sarita. Happy to be here.
Welcome, welcome. And we are so happy and delighted to you be here on this platform, Bhargavi. So, may I shoot the first question to you?
Yeah, sure.
So, so tell me, Bhargavi, in short, quickly, how did this coaching journey start for you?
Okay, so the coaching journey started somewhere around 1.5 to 2 years. Before
Okay.
that, I was all into my self development, self help. So, one thing I identified was what we think about us inside our head is not actually the person we are.
So true.
So, this is the main reason that I got into self development, self discovery, and self help side. Instagram, as you know, the algorithm keeps throwing whatever we think, because what we think we talk, and if we
Mm.
are talking on call, phone is definitely listening, and we are not in safe hands, I
Yes.
can say, but it is also good. That's how I got into coaching. So I kept learning for myself, I kept developing myself, because somewhere there was a gap. What I think about me inside my head is not the same. We started finding out why, what, and how can I become one in alignment with what I think about myself, and where is that gap.
Mm.
And then once I started doing that, I also came across many people who are also sailing in the same boat.
Yes.
They're like, confused, lost, finding purpose. They don't know who they are, especially women. So
Mm.
that's when I thought, why don't I just give it to the world what I learned from my beautiful coaches. That's how the coaching journey started.
Excellent. And thank you for doing what you're doing, Bhargavi. So, Bhargavi, according to you, why do so many women lose their sense of identity while showing up for everyone else? And how can they reclaim it back?
So most women, they don't lose their identity in one shot.
Hmm. Hmm.
It all happens by how we train our family, how we train our friends, how what kind of environment that we have developed around us. So especially in India, we women are taught like, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to only give.
Hmm.
Like, we have become givers by, it's not by choice, it is by, what to say, force, we can say. So this happens when we in the process of giving, in the process of doing, we don't know who we are, because I'm constantly looking at my son's needs, my husband's requirement, my father's life, his health, and things like that.
Right.
Because I'm healthy today, I am ignoring myself. Most of the women, we don't do it purposefully.
Yes.
But when this happens, for example, I can say a woman who is raising her kid, he goes to school, homework, tuition, sports, and extracurricular activities, she will take care. Once he goes to college, and that college stage, if it is away from the place we are living currently, so that's when she will get some free time. She is like, now what do I do? What am I? Who am I? And when somebody is not respecting you for the work that you're doing and you're constantly giving, obviously it's human nature that we will be taken for granted. So when we are taken for granted, there will be a subtle sign that she is here only now. Where will she go? She's anyways doing. I'm getting what I'm getting. So nothing is going to change. So that is when we will start feeling lost. Because we don't have that sense of purpose. And I'm not being myself. That's when we'll start questioning, what did I do all this year? Why am I like this? Why nobody is respecting me? So sometimes it becomes late, but I would say the moment you catch hold of yourself in this stage, that is the place you rise from. You start asking yourself,
right,
what do I want today? This is a small, simple step you can start from. What do I want today?
What do I want to do? Right. Bhargavi, you put it so beautifully. Like, it is, the crux of it is how we are raised and the society we are growing up. Like, for women, it's most of the time she's trained to give. And consciously or subconsciously, she does like giving. And the point that you noted that was a highlight for me is that when she is healthy, she's just giving. She's not bothered about herself. She's just giving out, and she thinks that is her purpose of life. Keeping everything.
Oh.
And when there is an emptiness syndrome, like when the others get busy with their life, and when she is
that's when we sit and think.
That's so beautifully. And again, what you told is the day when that awareness gets to you, like, now what? So that's the day you reclaim, right? Kind of thing. Yeah.
To your question, how to reclaim, right? I think I did not touch base on that.
Yeah.
So as I said, when you are in this awareness and you ask this simple question, what do I want? From there, you start taking pause. Pause long enough to understand your own inner voice. Your own inner voice is something which, directly or indirectly giving you all the signs that you want. Only if you are sitting with yourself in that pause, you will be able to listen to yourself.
Absolutely. That's
and then,
a beautiful thing, Bhargavi. With so much of noise and with Instagram, and if there is pause, that's when you realize,
true.
Answers are inside. Please go on. Sorry.
Yeah. So give yourself that permission to choose yourself. Because my needs matter too. And for all the young women, young mothers, I would say, start doing it now. Before your kid goes to college, as I just gave an example, until it becomes too late, start doing it now. Every day, 10 minutes, it's me time. I'm giving it to myself. No problem. If somebody says, you are being, you have changed, you are not like before, no problem. Make it a habit. Let them understand.
Yes. Absolutely. For mothers who are watching, take out some time. Start it with as small as 10 minutes, and do take out some time in your busy schedule for yourself, and that time is the time just for yourself.
True.
So Bhargavi, for moms or midlife women who feel stuck or are emotionally drained, what would you say is the first step of rediscovering their purpose in life?
Okay, so finding purpose, this doesn't happen magically overnight.
Yes.
It's a quiet reconnection, what makes you feel alive. As I said, start with a small step, smallest of small step. ask yourself, what do I want today? What do I want now?
Mm.
Then you will understand how deeply you're stuck in life. If you're stuck in life, this is the time for you to rise. Otherwise, if you're listening to this podcast in your good stage, good luck, you're in right place.
Okay.
Then going back to that simple spark moment of joy, what helps you? As Sarita mentioned, my hobbies, when I felt lost in my life, I used to always travel. And when I sat with myself and understood what gives me joy, I understood, okay, whenever I travel, that gives me joy. So I made it a habit, yearly once, international trip, and every 3 months once, somewhere local. Definitely I go. So, fortunately or unfortunately, I have this option in my IT career. Every 3 months once, it's mandatory that I take 1 week break.
Wow. that's really
so yeah. So I started asking myself, what energizes me? What drains me? What do I love doing naturally? So when I have this clarity, I start doing more of things that energizes me. Because when I love doing something naturally, that gives me joy.
Yes.
So that's how you find your purpose. And when I know what drains me, I will definitely start saying no, stop doing it.
It's just a simple funda Bhargavi is sharing so beautifully. Just rediscover, pause and think what brings you joy and what drains you. And the moment you realize, and stop avoiding doing things that drains your energy, and do things more of what brings you joy. And when you do things of joy, your energy rises, and then that pours to everybody around you. Great sharing, Bhargavi. So also, Bhargavi, nowadays we hear so often about love yourself, self-love, but what does healthy self-love actually look like for a busy mom juggling work, family, and everything in between? Can you put light on that?
Yeah. So self-love has become that most happening term these days. So for some reason, it is misunderstood as luxury. Like, going to spa, getting myself groomed, and then going on a fancy trip just because of Instagram.
Yes.
Because I want to post, I want to shine there, and all such wrong notations that I have heard these days about self-love. It's definitely not. I'm not saying it is not self-love. For someone who is starting, to understand their own needs, as you mentioned, busy moms or anyone who is trying to find their purpose, it is in the smallest of small things. Just by saying no, by not over-explaining. Why? I don't want to do this now because I don't feel like. I just want to take out 5 minutes. I will sit with myself and then I will come. Okay, first time you explain this. Next time when you say no, people will definitely understand. So you stop over-explaining. So that gives kind of calm to your mind. When you're not explaining what you're doing, that means you're showing the world that your need matters too. So this is something very powerful I found out. My son clearly understands when I say no. He sees my face, he reads what kind of no is this? Is this a firm no or can I manipulate her? Because kids are very, very smart. They know how to manipulate and get the things done.
Yes, for sure.
And then, taking small pockets of time during your busy schedule. In these small pockets of time, what do? You talk to yourself with kind. Talk to yourself with kind and resting at least for 2-3 minutes if your body is asking. Even if it is not asking, it is good to rest. I'm not saying go for a deep sleep or something. Just sit, relax, and not comparing your journey with others.
That's so important. Yeah. In the social media world.
No, because when we are sitting with ourselves, when I say pause, take rest, automatically phone comes into our hand. When phone comes into our hand, we keep scrolling and we keep seeing so many shiny, flashy, jazzy things. And then I'm like, again going back, what am I doing with my life? Why am I not shining like her? So please stop comparing yourself.
So beautifully put, Bhargavi. So the thing is, self-love is also in little things, which adds on to major thing. What you said is setting boundaries. When you say no, you mean it. When you have, and then you pause, and then you said, when you're pausing, don't go into comparison mode, and take rest of it, even in your busy schedule.
Yes, that's very, very important.
Yeah. That is such a beautiful thing, but it will highly create impact. So whoever is watching this, please do note of this and do apply this. It may seem small, but the results are effective.
Definitely.
So Bhargavi, I'm curious to know about another thing is, like, you often talk about shadow work, right? What exactly is shadow work, and why does it matter so much in our emotional growth journey?
Okay. So shadow work is very, very interesting concept I came across. So as I said, my coaching journey started 1.5 to 2 years ago. And while exploring different modalities, I found there was a limitation. Whatever I do, it is like, okay, they are asking me to do this. For example, manifestation technique, they're asking me to do this, which includes visualization, affirmations, gratitude, and things like that. Okay, I wrote gratitude. I recited my affirmations. I sat down and did the visualization. But then what? I keep waiting for something. Outcome, output, or whatever you say. They're asking me to do this. I'm doing. But there was no, okay, now I'm fine. But shadow work, I'll tell you, when I came across, it's something like, base of everything. Because whatever I want is already within me. Yes. Shadow work is something that part of your life which you have been avoiding. Your fears, your insecurities, your unexpressed traumas like anger, anxiety, and fear, all these things. You have been ignoring them. It doesn't mean it disappears. Okay, it is somewhere sitting deep down. For some people, if it is too much, it sits inside you like a trauma. As you also know, Sarita, if we keep too many traumas inside, it starts showing on our physical body as well, right? So shadow work is something you go to your subconscious mind, you understand what are all the patterns which is not helping me grow, and where did I hide it inside. Because my father said I am not supposed to dress in this way, I started dressing in a way that my father was okay or the society was okay and things like that. But as a person, I like being myself. So where did that go? It was hidden deep inside somewhere, and it started showing in different other ways. The way I talk, the way I put myself into the world, everything started changing, and that's when I started operating from the mask that I wore. Right? Where is your original personality? Shadow work helps you identify your flaws, and it doesn't tell you have to get rid of this. For someone who is too much angry for smallest of small things, so it is not saying don't get angry. If you find out this is your trigger, you work on it. Next time, if the same trigger comes, so similar to this situation, if this happens, I get triggered, I get angry. So that's when I am ready. I am not operating, reacting. Instead, okay, this is something which I get triggered, I get angry on. So let me respond in a positive way. Like, I can just say, please don't do this. It's not something I like. Wow. You're not asking anybody to change. You're not holding yourself back. You're just responding. So shadow work is such an amazing work that I have found out.
That I can when you're saying, I can just see that how much it will create an impact if somebody is doing shadow work. First of all, they'll become aware, like, what is their trigger, like you said, the triggering point. And once they are aware of that, then they can respond to situations. They are in a better way. That's so beautifully put, Bhargavi. Thank you for that.
Yeah. As I said, we all have flaws.
Yes.
Shadow work will definitely help you accept the real person that you are. And when you operate from that energy, I mean, I can't tell you enough how confident of a person that you become.
Yeah,
You know,
at the end of that work, when you do that shadow work, layers of mask, like you said, we just put on mask and all that, and the true self only is disappeared, and then you get tired of pretending to be who you are not. And as you do shadow work, I believe layers and layers, you get to see what all layers you put, right, Bhargavi?
True. It's not something that makes you perfect, but it makes you honest. And when you operate from that honesty, you bring yourself that connection, that alignment. What I just said right in the beginning, that personality that I am inside my head is different and the reality is different. So when you're honest, I am this.
Yes.
So this is how I am.
Yes. And also, can you elaborate on this, that after we identify our shadows, Bhargavi, those parts of us which we often avoid, right?
Right.
How can we gently integrate them into our daily life without guilt or feeling overwhelmed about it?
So the real transformation happens not by just knowing. It starts from there, of course. But when you integrate that, yes, this is my flaws and I am this person, I operate with confidence. Okay. Now what? I see my patterns. Now I respond instead of reacting, as I just said, right? So what happened in my personal experience, I was an overgiver. Okay. Once I identified this pattern of overgiving through shadow work, I started checking in with myself by saying yes to whatever people think that I am. Even if I am that, even if I'm not that, no problem. You just be yourself. And when I understood this, I started questioning, if I'm saying yes, am I doing this out of love or am I doing this out of fear? So overgiving also is connected to people pleasing. I don't want to lose someone. I don't want to disrespect someone because I am in that good girl syndrome. Right? She's a good girl. Whatever I ask her, she gives. Whatever I say, she does. Now, that's when overgiving comes into picture. Right? So once I identify my shadow, when I'm saying yes, and the voice inside is saying no, I pause, I understand, am I saying this yes out of fear or out of love?
Beautiful. So that question is very important, that whether doing it out of love or out of fear. Beautiful.
Yes.
I think this shadow work we can discuss it in depth for long, and it is so like a whole thing by itself.
It's still the ongoing journey, it's so deep that it touch bases on each and every emotion of yours, like anxiety, fear, and perfectionism. You name any emotion that you can decode using shadow work modality.
Anger and blah blah blah, all that. Yeah. So that is why it is named as shadow. It is all our resistance showing up. Wow. That way. Great. And Bhargavi, on that note, what will be the one takeaway if the mothers the women who are watching from this podcast, that what they can apply immediately, and what is that one thing that they can do? Can you please share?
Yeah. So as I said, start with small step. Ask yourself, what do I want today? If you are feeling misaligned with yourself, if you are feeling frustrated just by doing, giving, and being that service provider, and then ask yourself, what do I want today? Just by doing this, make it your second nature. Daily action becomes momentum. And once you build this momentum, you get clarity. what you want in life. And this clarity helps you find purpose. At least in my case, I kept on asking for a long time, what is the purpose of me being alive? Why did I come onto this earth?
Okay.
So this is something which can help you. As I said, daily action will lead to momentum. Your built momentum is going to get you clarity. That clarity will help you find the purpose. And once you know your purpose, you are an empowered individual.
Absolutely. Bhargavi, thank you so much for your sharing. And on that note, viewers who are watching this podcast, and after whatever Bhargavi shared about reflecting, even if you don't get clarity, Bhargavi would be happy to, connect. You can connect with Bhargavi. I will, of course, do the Instagram handles and all, so you can connect with her and get in the in-depth session with her where you can get clarity on what is stopping you to live your best life.
Absolutely.
Bhargavi, thank you so much for your sharing today. You shared about your story, your tools which we can use with us today. Thank you so much for that. And it was like a mirror. Whatever you were sharing and listening to, it was like a mirror. Thank you.
I'm happy. I just want to tell the viewers that you deserve the life that you feel aligned with yourself, being authentic, and which you feel like, this is my life. Deeply, I own it. When you deserve this life, put in the work and seek help from experts who have already done it instead of you struggling yourself to do everything from scratch. You can reach out to Sarita, you can reach out to me, or any expert that you feel aligned, because in this internet world, social media world, asking help getting help is easy, but asking help is only when you think that I want to change.
Wow, wonderfully put, Bhargavi. And on the closing note, I also want to let our audience know that Bhargavi also is a mandala artist. Can you please quickly share a few lines about it, Bhargavi?
Yeah, definitely. So that's something close to my heart, Sarita. I started during COVID as, just like that, time pass, watercolor and things like that. And I started scribbling. For some reason, there was a synchronicity, right? I understood, okay, when I was a small girl, I used to write repeated patterns in the rough book. Last page mein we scribble, right?
Yes.
So that's when I didn't even know the name was mandala. Okay, after COVID only, when I started scribbling, of course Instagram started throwing the similar algorithm. That's when I understood, it is called mandala. And then I started exploring, started doing it. Came out really, really beautiful. Then in the meantime, me learning how to be a life coach and things like that, I was able to relate both. Right? So our emotions always wanting to come out in a way or the other. Instead of you hurting someone else by your wounded words, the wounded personal self which is sitting inside, instead of hurting, this is a beautiful modality, I can say. You can reach out to me for more information. Sit with yourself, scribble something, and this repeated pattern, as just mandala, what Sarita mentioned, definitely is going to put your emotions outside. Mandala speaks louder, okay? And instead of just scribbling something, try out mandala.
Absolutely. And viewers, do connect with Bhargavi. I will be putting her Instagram handle on the whenever I'm posting this video. And do connect with her. She'll be more than happy to help you out. But as Bhargavi says, it is not the question about her helping her, it's the question of you asking. The asking part is important, and once you ask, there is a quote also, you ask and you shall receive. So
yes.
As Bhargavi says, if you want change in your life and you want to take the reins of your own life in your hands, do ask for help.
Yes.
That is the most powerful thing we'll be doing.
Yes.
No, thank you, Bhargavi. Thank you for the privilege of your time, and thank you for joining us.
And thank you so much, Sarita. It was beautiful talking to you, and I love how genuinely you listen, and then repeat the sentences that you found it catchy, and that will definitely help viewers to, kind of reinforce their learning. And it was wonderful talking to you. You have been always an amazing, kind, down to earth person. I love to talk to you. Thank you so
Thank you, Bhargavi. That tells me what a person you are. Diffusing beauty everywhere around you. Thank you. And thanks to everyone who joined us. Thank you for being a part of the Changemaker Supermom Stories this year. And this being our final episode of 2025. And I couldn't have imagined a more meaningful way to close this season. And on that note, we'll be back in the new year with more stories, more wisdom, and more voices from Changemaker Supermom who are lighting the way forward. Until then, take care, stay kind to yourself, and may you keep coming back home to who you truly are. God bless you and see you next year. Thank you.
much. Yes, wishing you Happy New Year, Sarita, and everyone who is watching.
Yes, same to you, Bhargavi. Thank you. God bless you.
Take care.